Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Jeff Wittek, one of the members of the Vlog Squad. David Dobrik and Jeff Wittek have been in a lot of headlines recently, not for anything good, shocker, but I did want to talk about Jeff Wittek specifically because he, as of when I'm filming, has posted 2 videos that are supposed to function kind of as documentaries about his life, leading into also what happened with David Dobrik and what happened with his infamous eye injury. Now, I did make a video discussing Jeff somewhat a while ago. I'll link it down below, but if you don't want to go see it, the short version of it is that Jeff Wittek was accused, along with other members of the Vlog Squad, of inappropriate behavior. Now, we had Dirty Dom, who was accused of actually sexually assaulting people and being sexually inappropriate with certain people. Jeff Wittek instead was accused of facilitating giving inordinate amounts of alcohol that then resulted in the allegations of sexual assault that I mentioned. In his documentaries, it's clear that he is trying to, in some ways, reframe the story or contextualize as much as you possibly can, I suppose. So I did want to discuss what exactly he said in those videos, because I do think it is a discussion worth having, since there's been so much, I don't want to say secrecy, but I feel like there's a lot that is just slowly starting to come out. Before we get to that, I did want to thank today's sponsor, which is Canva Pro. Canva Pro is an easy-to-use design platform that anyone can use. You can create stunning content for any occasion, from posters to presentations to social media and so much more. On top of this, the Canva subscription includes a collection of over 75 million premium photos, video, audio, and graphics. They also make your Canva projects speedier with time-saving tools that simplify your task. To make it even better, Canva Pro is an affordable way to design. Design like a pro with Canva Pro. Try Canva Pro for free for 45 days by going to canva.me/readytoglare. My favorite feature, and the one I use the most, is for social media, most notably Instagram stories. They have so many templates you can easily customize and add elements to. One tool I find very useful is the background remover. I also love how user-friendly it was. It took me no time to fully understand how everything worked. Try Canva Pro free for 45 days by going to canva.me/readytoglare. Thank you, Canva, for sponsoring this video. So I'm going to give a basic rundown of things that I found interesting in these videos, just in case you don't feel like watching them, because I watched them on 1.5 speed, and frankly, I felt like they still kind of dragged, because a lot of it, at least initially, the first video, is very much about his childhood and his upbringing, which I'm sure people want to know about, but in this particular moment in time, people kind of want to know more about what it was behind the scenes with Vlog Squad, what actually happened to his eye, an injury that could have cost him loss of sight. People kind of wanted that more than knowing about his upbringing. At least that's why I tuned in. What was interesting and a rather revealing fact was that Jeff discussed pretty at length his life as a criminal when he was younger. And when I say criminal, I really mean criminal as in he was moving drugs, not just weed, really heavy drugs, and he got in trouble with the law. In fact, he even mentioned that he could have gone to prison for a very long time, if not for life, if I recall correctly. And he basically got off on a technicality where apparently the police or whoever found out that he had drugs without a warrant, and that's the reason he didn't go to prison for a very long time.
It's kind of a cycle here. I keep pushing, see how much I can get away with, push a little more, see how much I can get away with, and then boom, rock bottom. I was facing life in jail. I spent my 21st birthday in Miami-Dade County Jail, trafficking cocaine, OxyContin, weed. I had a casino in my Miami penthouse. I got handed a statement to write down who was involved, and I made a paper airplane out of it, and I kept my mouth shut. I was caught red-handed, and they have it in evidence bags in front of you. And I'm talking to my lawyer, and they're saying, like, we have a technicality here, like you could get out because they didn't have a warrant to search your house. In Miami Beach PD, they did something crooked, and they came in with no warrant. But I was like, I'm fucking caught red-handed. Like, I'm fucked. 15 years that I was supposed to do was gone. I would still be in jail to this day, and now I was free to go. and they just said, pack up your shit. I went to jail 5 times for the same thing, and then I get out and I do the same exact thing again. I moved out here to buy weed and mail it back to the barbershops in New York.
In my opinion, the way he discussed it kind of came off as the way you would see it in gangster movies, in the sense of not maybe entirely glorified, but it feels like the person is talking about that time with fondness, which I'm sure good things may have happened during that time, but it was just confusing because it's like, why would you talk about something with seeming fondness when it could have cost you your own freedom? On top of that, he discussed with other friends who also were dealing and also were making crazy amounts of money. I think he mentioned making $15,000 a week. This was interesting and significant because the way the documentary framed it was that David Dobrik, once they'd met, David was, I guess, attracted by this type of criminal energy or whatever you want to call it, and hence how they became friends and started filming together and so on and so forth. So it seemed like what the documentary was implying, from what I understand, is that this like criminal aspect appealed to David because there's that sensation of danger, or like you don't know what's going to happen next, which, as far as I understand, is kind of David Dobrik's brand. Like, every vlog is supposed to outdo the prior vlog, you know, like extreme pranks or crazy kind of activities of sorts.
I met David, and then David was just infatuated with my past.
Oh my fucking goodness!
Where'd you get this shit from? Dude, Jeff got cash like this.
You should do that with your money.
I don't sell drugs.
Neither do I. Our first interaction, I wasn't planning on vlogging with him. I was hanging out with Todd, and David showed up, and we got pulled over.
We're about to get pulled over in 3, 2, 1. What are you doing? Oh, we got pulled over!
And he just loved it. He just got such a kick out of it. Like, this guy's a criminal.
I think these guys want to see me go to jail.
All right, guys. They're about to find out the car's stolen.
At the time, I thought he was just like a jerky kid that's willing to put anything in a video, didn't care about other people. He said to me, why wouldn't you show this? This is real, this is you, this is what people will relate to.
I think that to me was a bit of a red flag, because that to me gave tourist vibes, in the sense of a person who likes enjoying people for what they can offer but doesn't offer anything back and just kind of like absorbs their energy. I'm talking about David doing that. That's the vibe I got. And I also thought this was interesting because we have to remember, not that long ago, allegations came out against Jeff Wittek about him potentially supplying alcohol and inebriating girls at a party, so on and so forth. So it also seemed counterintuitive to want to bring up your criminal past when you're saying you didn't do the thing you did. That would also be criminal. In the comments, all the top comments are positive, saying how much they love the video and everything. In fact, if you keep scrolling, you will come across 1 or 2 comments here and there being like, are we gonna forget the allegations? Like, is this just, you know, kind of like a do-over? Like, we're gonna pretend nothing happened or nothing allegedly happened? So I thought that was very interesting, and it's possible that it's just his own fans and viewers who, you know, just believe him regardless. Maybe it's not other people like me who never really were subscribers of his or anything like that. It might be mentioned later, who knows? Basically, the next part of that is a lot of people online have been characterizing the Vlog Squad as culty, not because of spiritual beliefs, obviously, but mainly because it seems like David decides what's what, and a lot of these people just simply do what he asks. I do think there has to be a certain level of personal accountability there, because realistically, they probably can say no. They probably, you know, like, there's no gun to their heads that we know of. They can refuse to buy into his antics or do these like crazy pranks, whatever it is. But I also think there's a part of the situation that makes it more complicated, is that I see David as manipulative, really. It can be really easy to say people can just say no, but at the same time, we need to count a lot of things in there, like power dynamics, his level of fame, him potentially, you know, helping them make money, which I don't think is even a potential, I just think it's a reality. Just what you do for someone that you think is a friend as well, which I think he can quite easily manipulate people into thinking that he's, you know, so there for them. Also because it seems from afar, who knows from the inside, but it seems like he really is the type of person who makes people feel like they're the only person in the room, and then subsequently gets them to, like in the video, David asked them to basically skydive 25 times so then you can get a license and skydive by yourself. And as someone who has done half of that requirement 12-ish times. It's a big thing to ask of people, and I say that as someone who's not afraid of heights, and I did it out of my own volition. But I also think that asking people to do things like that and them actually doing it no matter how scared they are, and the fact that at least when I did it, I had to pretty much sign a thing saying my family won't sue if I die. You know, like, these are not small things to ask of people. So when you have manipulated them to a certain point, if you've gaslit them, or if you have in some ways coerced them into doing it, that whole energy scares me, that you'd get your friends to potentially be in danger when it's something they don't even necessarily want to really do.
And now we're here.
So David says jump, you say how many times?
David, God damn it, I swear if I hear that joke one time, I'm out.
Why are you skydiving?
I don't know, it's just a fear.
Why
I'm
do you
trying to get
wanna
over it.
Who's making you do it?
Some guy, he's a weird guy. I met him like 2 years ago.
Do you really want to do this?
Yeah, I want to do it.
We had just gone through school for like 2.5 hours, and then they're just like, yeah, there you go, and they're just ready to throw you up a fucking plane.
Yeah, keep an eye on me out there. You feel like you're about to die. All right, I'm about to do my first jump. I was just informed that if I don't make this video, that all of my life savings will be taken by the bank. I just want to be clear that this won't be coming out if I don't make it, because I don't want to make things personal with anybody around me. And I don't want Nerf to get jealous because he's only getting a small piece of the pie here because he's bad with money. And I don't trust that guy. He fucking spent all the money on treats and toys. He's already got plenty. Probably the rest will go to my parents, more to my mother's side, because my dad would probably take all the money to the racetrack and bet it on horses. And he's terrible at picking horses. Well, that's it. The rest of my money, Old Spice, go f yourselves. This is only going in if I don't make it.
We have to level in personal accountability as well. That's a complicated thing for us on the outside to really know how much people actually want to partake in this stuff, but it's hard for me to believe that they're all always super happy to do it. Now, the biggest part of this whole series, what everyone I think was waiting for, was for Jeff to discuss his eye injury, because basically they had an excavator and they were swinging around on that excavator. David was the one who was doing the managing, but Jeff swung too fast. Then he pretty much fell and hit his head, and someone described it as like his head was broken open.
Rope over a 1 foot deep lake. And yeah, I didn't know I was gonna go that fast. So I grabbed the fucking rope and I tried to make a goddamn funny video for people. But this is where I made a mistake. I forgot that the biggest fucking idiot I know was driving it.
That resulted in him almost losing sight out of one of his eyes. This isn't the only time where things could have turned extremely, extremely dangerous. And granted, there's danger in basically doing anything, but I think there's also a point where you start to ask yourself, how far does someone want to push other people before something really tragic happens? Because thankfully, everyone's okay as possible. But again, you know, like, I just wonder how long this can go on before something really fucked up happens. And I understand that they need to outdo themselves every time, but it's just starting to feel exploitative of people either being friends with him or clout chasing or whatever it is, but it's exploiting that kind of power dynamic, A, and B, the fact that some of them maybe even care for each other. It's hard to tell when friends and business are that closely tied, because sometimes it's more business than friendship. But anyways, you can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think people are kind of just forgetting about the allegations made against Jeff Wittek because of this new narrative that's being introduced of like his life and the documentary and so on. Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right into the